Awakening. Alex opened his eyes slowly, feeling a strange heaviness in his body. Light poured in from all sides, bright and blinding. It took him a moment to remember where he was. He had been in cryosleep, a deep freeze that was supposed to last only a few years. But something was wrong. He looked around the room, noticing the shiny walls and blinking lights. Everything felt new and foreign. As he tried to sit up, he felt stiff and weak. It was like his muscles had forgotten how to move. He struggled, finally propping himself up on his elbows. The room was filled with strange machines, some making soft beeping sounds. Panic surged through him. How long had he been asleep? Why was he awake now? Just then, a figure appeared in front of him. It was a hologram, glowing softly in the air. The hologram had a friendly smile and wore a uniform that sparkled. "Welcome back, Alex," it said in a calm voice. "You have been in cryosleep for 500,000 years." Alex blinked in disbelief. "What?" he gasped, his heart racing. 500,000 years. That can't be right." The hologram nodded. "It is true. The world has changed greatly during your sleep. You are in the year 500 and 2024. He struggled to process this information. 500,000 years. He felt lost, like a ship in a stormy sea. "What happened to Earth?" he asked, his voice trembling. "Earth has transformed into a new world," the hologram explained. "Humanity has evolved, and many different species now share this planet." Alex's mind raced. He remembered Earth as a bustling place full of people, cars, and cities. What would it be like now? Would he be alone? The hologram continued, "You will soon meet the new inhabitants of Earth. They are very different but welcoming." Feeling a mix of excitement and fear, Alex pushed himself to stand. His legs wobbled, and he almost fell, but caught himself on the edge of a machine. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. "Where do I go?" he asked. "Follow the path outside the facility," the hologram replied. "It will lead you to the new world." With determination, Alex walked towards the door. It slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a bright, colorful landscape. He stepped outside and squinted at the sunlight. The air felt fresh, filled with the scent of blooming flowers and lush greenery. What he saw took his breath away. The world was alive with colors he had never seen before. Trees towered high, their leaves shimmering in shades of blue and purple. Flowers bloomed in radiant reds and yellows, and in the distance, he could see a sparkling river flowing. As he took a few steps, he felt a mix of wonder and fear. What awaited him in this new world? Would he be accepted, or would he be seen as a relic of the past? Just then, he heard laughter. Turning, he saw a group of girls approaching him. They were unlike anyone he had ever seen. The girls had vibrant skin tones that glimmered in the sunlight. Their hair flowed like silk, colored in shades of green and pink. They smiled at him, eyes sparkling with curiosity. Alex felt a rush of hope. Maybe this new world wouldn't be so bad after all. "Welcome to Earth," one of the girls called out, her voice musical and inviting. Alex's heart raced as he realized he was not alone. He had a chance to start anew in this incredible place, surrounded by beautiful and friendly beings. First contact. Alex stood still as the group of alien girls approached him. They moved gracefully, their colorful hair flowing in the gentle breeze. Each girl had a unique look, and their vibrant skin seemed to glow under the sunlight. Alex's heart raced. This was his first contact with the new inhabitants of Earth, and he felt both excited and nervous. "Who are you?" Alex asked, trying to sound calm. The girls giggled softly, their laughter like a melody. One girl stepped forward. She had bright blue skin and hair that sparkled like the stars. "I'm Lyra," she said with a warm smile. "We are the Guardians of Earth." "Guardians?" Alex repeated, curious. "What does that mean?" Lyra gestured for him to follow. "Come, we will show you." The other girls moved around him, their energy contagious. Alex felt a spark of hope as he walked with them, eager to learn more about this strange new world. As they walked, Alex noticed how different everything was. The plants were bigger and more colorful than he remembered. He saw flowers that changed color when the wind blew. The trees were tall, with trunks that twisted in amazing shapes. "This is incredible," he said, marveling at the beauty around him. Lyra smiled. "We have worked hard to restore the planet. After the old world was lost, we came together to heal it." She paused, looking at him with bright eyes. "And we want to help you too. How can you help me?" Alex asked, feeling a mix of gratitude and uncertainty. "You can teach us about humans," said another girl with green skin and long flowing hair. "Your stories will help us understand our past." Alex nodded, realizing how much he had to share. He thought about his life before cryosleep, the joys, the struggles, and everything he had learned. As they walked, the girls began to ask him questions. What was Earth like before? Lyra inquired. Did you have music and art? Alex smiled, remembering the vibrant culture of his time. Yes, we had beautiful music. People expressed their feelings through art, dance, and stories. The girls listened intently, their eyes wide with wonder. Can you sing for us? Asked a girl with purple skin, her voice filled with excitement. Alex hesitated, feeling shy. He hadn't sung in a long time. But looking at their eager faces, he decided to give it a try. Taking a deep breath, he began to sing a simple melody from his childhood. The girls clapped their hands and swayed to the music. Their joy filled the air, making Alex feel lighter and more connected. After he finished, they cheered, and Alex couldn't help but smile. Your voice is beautiful, Lyra exclaimed. We want to learn more from you. As they continued to walk, Alex felt a sense of belonging growing inside him. He had feared being alone in this new world, but now he saw hope. These alien girls were not just different. They were friendly and curious. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the trees, startling everyone. It sounded like thunder, but the sky was clear. The girls exchanged worried glances. What was that? Alex asked, his heart pounding. We need to find out, Lyra said, her expression serious. Come with us. Feeling a rush of adrenaline, Alex nodded. Together, they moved swiftly through the colorful landscape, ready to face whatever awaited them. This was only the beginning of his adventure in this strange new world, and he felt alive with possibilities. Learning together. The loud noise echoed again, shaking the ground beneath Alex's feet. The alien girls turned, their expressions a mix of fear and curiosity. Lyra took a deep breath and said, We must find out what that was. Stay close. Alex felt his heart race. He wanted to know what was happening, but he also wanted to stay safe. As they moved deeper into the forest, the vibrant colors of the plants and flowers surrounded them, making the atmosphere both beautiful and mysterious. The group walked for a while, the thick trees towering above them. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of blooming flowers and earthy soil. Alex listened closely, trying to make sense of the strange sounds around him. Suddenly, they came to a clearing. In the center stood a giant creature, unlike anything Alex had ever seen. It had 4 legs, covered in soft, purple fur and large, gentle eyes. The creature was trying to push down a large tree branch that had fallen during a storm. The loud noise had come from it. Lyra and the other girls gasped in surprise. That's a Nara, Lyra explained, her eyes shining with excitement. They are gentle giants, but they need help sometimes. Alex stepped forward, feeling a strange connection to the creature. It looks hurt, he said. We should help it. The girls nodded in agreement. Working together, they approached the Nara slowly, making soft sounds to comfort it. The creature turned its large eyes towards them, and Alex felt a wave of calm wash over him. He reached out a hand, and to his surprise, the Nara leaned closer, allowing him to touch its fur. "Wow, it's so soft," Alex exclaimed. The girls giggled, and they all took turns petting the Nara. Together, they began to clear away the fallen branches, freeing the gentle giant. After a few minutes of teamwork, the Nara stood tall, shaking off the dirt. It turned and nuzzled Alex, as if to say thank you. The girls cheered, jumping with joy. Alex felt a warm feeling in his chest. This was not just about learning. It was about connection and friendship. As they sat down to rest, Lyra looked at Alex with admiration. "You have a good heart," she said. "You helped a creature that needed it." Alex smiled, feeling proud. "Thank you," he replied. "But I couldn't have done it without all of you." The girls shared stories about their lives as they rested under the trees. Alex listened carefully, fascinated by their tales. They told him about their culture, how they celebrated life, and how they worked together to protect their planet. One girl named Zara spoke about the great festivals they held every year. "We celebrate the beauty of nature and the bonds we share," she said. "It's a time for singing, dancing, and sharing stories. You must come to our next festival." "I would love that," Alex said, his excitement growing. He imagined the music, the colors, and the laughter. It sounded amazing. As the sun began to set, casting golden light through the trees, Alex felt a sense of belonging that he had not felt in a long time. He realized that learning from these girls was not just about knowledge. It was about understanding each other and building a future together. "Tell us more about humans," Lyra urged. Alex nodded, eager to share. He talked about his childhood, his family, and his dreams. The girls listened with wide eyes, and he could see how much they wanted to learn. In that moment, Alex understood that he was no longer just a visitor in this new world. He was becoming a part of it, and he was ready for whatever came next. Together, they would create a new story, one filled with friendship and adventure. Trouble begins. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows through the trees as Alex and the alien girls finished their stories. They felt a bond growing between them, but little did they know, trouble was brewing nearby. As they laughed and shared jokes, a loud rumble echoed through the forest. The girls froze, and their smiles faded. Alex's heart raced again. "What was that?" he asked, glancing around nervously. "Something is not right," Lyra said, her voice serious. "We should go back to the village." The group quickly made their way through the trees, but the forest felt different now. A thick tension hung in the air. As they approached the village, they noticed that other alien girls were gathering, their faces filled with worry. "Lyra," one girl called out, running toward them. "There's been a disturbance at the edge of the village. A group of outsiders is causing trouble." Alex's stomach knotted. "Outsiders?" he asked. "What do you mean?" "They are not from our world," the girl explained, her voice trembling. "They don't trust us. They think humans are dangerous." Lyra turned to Alex, concern written across her face. "We need to be careful. These outsiders may not be friendly." As they reached the village square, Alex saw a group of strange aliens gathered. They looked rough, with sharp features and dark, twisted hair. They stood in a circle, shouting angrily. Alex felt a wave of fear wash over him. "What do they want?" he whispered to Lyra. "They believe that humans are a threat to our way of life," she replied, her voice low. "They think you might bring harm to our home." Just then, one of the outsiders stepped forward. He had fierce eyes and a menacing grin. "Why is there a human here?" he shouted. "He should not be trusted. Humans have caused destruction before." Alex's heart sank. He had no idea how to defend himself. The other girls stood close, their faces showing fear and determination. "We are not like that," Lyra shouted back. "He is our friend. He has helped us." The outsider laughed cruelly. "How can you trust him? You don't know what humans are capable of." Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their gazes, I mean no harm, he said, his voice steady. I want to learn and help. I want to be a part of this world. The crowd murmured, some seemed to soften, but the leader of the outsiders shook his head. You cannot be trusted. You must leave, or there will be consequences. The girls stepped forward, their faces filled with courage. We stand with Alex, Zara shouted. He has done nothing wrong. The tension grew thicker as the outsiders began to advance. Alex felt fear grip his heart, but he also felt a surge of determination. Please, he said, stepping forward. I want to understand your fears. Let's talk. But the outsiders weren't listening. They shouted and pushed their way toward him, anger flashing in their eyes. Lyra moved closer to Alex, ready to protect him, but the situation was escalating quickly. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the square as a nearby tree fell, breaking the tension for just a moment. Everyone turned to see the Nera from earlier, now looking scared and confused. The sight of the gentle giant caught the attention of the outsiders. Alex seized the moment. Look, the Nera is here. Let's help it together. He pointed, hoping to unite everyone against a common cause. Lyra nodded. We can work together. We can show you we mean no harm. But the outsider leader sneered. You think we will be fooled? We will not allow a human to remain among us. The crowd grew restless, and Alex knew they needed to act fast. The tension hung heavy in the air, and the future of peace between the humans and aliens felt uncertain. Journey for peace. The air was thick with tension as Alex stood between the angry outsiders and the girls who had become his friends. Fear gripped his heart, but he knew he had to find a way to resolve this conflict. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, looking into the eyes of the outsider leader. Please, Alex pleaded, his voice steady. I know you don't trust me, but I want to understand. Let me show you that humans can bring good to this world. The outsider leader sneered, crossing his arms. What could you possibly teach us? You are a stranger here. But I want to learn about you too, Alex replied. I want to bridge the gap between our worlds. We can share our knowledge and cultures. Isn't that better than fighting? Lyra stepped beside Alex, her expression fierce. We can work together. We can show everyone that we can live in peace. The other girls nodded, their determination shining through. The outsider leader hesitated, looking at the other members of his group. They whispered among themselves, unsure. Finally, he spoke. If you truly want to prove yourselves, then you must embark on a journey with us. Show us what humans can offer. But if you fail, we will not hesitate to remove you from our land. Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. I accept. What do we need to do? The outsider leader grinned, but it was a cold smile. We will travel to the sacred lake. It is a place where our ancestors gathered. You will tell us stories of your people. If you can earn our trust there, we will consider allowing you to stay. With the agreement made, the group set off toward the sacred lake. The journey was long, and Alex felt a mix of excitement and dread. As they walked, he turned to Lyra. Do you think we can really win them over? Lyra nodded, determination in her eyes. We must try. It is the only way to create peace. Along the path, Alex learned more about the outsiders. They shared stories of their ancestors and their beliefs. He listened carefully, trying to understand their fears. They spoke of how humans had once destroyed the earth, and it made Alex realize the weight of his responsibility. When they finally reached the sacred lake, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow on the water. It was a beautiful sight, and Alex felt a sense of calm wash over him. The lake was surrounded by tall trees, their leaves shimmering in the light. Now it is time for you to share your stories, the outsider leader said, crossing his arms. Show us what makes humans special. Alex stepped to the edge of the lake, the reflection of the sun dancing on the water surface. He thought about his life and the stories he could share. I will tell you about my home, my family, and the things we value, he began, his voice strong. As he spoke, he shared stories of love, hope, and the beauty of human connection. He talked about music, art, and how people come together in times of joy and sorrow. The girls stood behind him, their eyes shining with pride. The outsiders listened closely, some nodding along. Alex felt a spark of hope. We have made mistakes, but we have also learned. We want to grow and protect this planet together. When he finished, there was a moment of silence. Then the outsider leader spoke, his voice softer than before. You have shown us a different side of humanity. Perhaps there is hope for peace after all. Lyra smiled, and the other girls cheered. Alex felt a rush of joy. They were making progress, but he knew that their journey was far from over. Trust would take time, and there were still many challenges ahead. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the sacred lake, Alex felt ready to face whatever came next. Together with his new friends, he was determined to build a bridge between their worlds. This journey for peace had only just begun. Secrets revealed. The sun rose over the sacred lake, casting shimmering rays of light across the water. Alex and the alien girls had spent the night under the stars, sharing stories and laughter. The mood was hopeful, but Alex knew they still had much work to do. The outsiders were not fully convinced yet, and he could feel the weight of their expectations pressing down on him. After breakfast, the outsider leader gathered everyone around. Today, we will share more about our histories, he said. There are secrets that you must know about our past and yours. Only then can we build true trust. Alex felt a mix of curiosity and anxiety. He wanted to understand their fears, but he also worried about what they might reveal. The group settled down on the grass, their eyes focused on the outsider leader. He began his tale, speaking slowly. Long ago, humans lived on Earth, but their greed and violence led to destruction. They polluted the land and fought each other for power. Many of us watched as your kind brought harm to our planet. We believed that humans would never change. Alex's heart sank. He had heard stories of humanity's mistakes, but hearing it from the outsiders made it feel more real. I understand your fears, he said softly. We have made many mistakes in the past, but we can learn from them. The outsider leader continued. When the great catastrophe happened, a group of our ancestors fled to the stars. They left Earth to survive. They feared that humans would one day return to destroy it again. For centuries, we watched and waited, wondering if it was safe to come back. Lyra leaned closer to Alex, her eyes filled with concern. What happened next? She asked. Our ancestors returned only to find that the planet had changed. The outsider leader said, we discovered a new group of beings, the ones who had been left in cryosleep. They had no idea of what had happened. We took it upon ourselves to protect this new Earth from any potential threats, including humans. Alex felt a surge of anger. You don't have to be afraid of me. I want to help protect this world, not harm it. The outsider leader nodded slowly. We know that now, but it will take time for all of us to heal from the past. Trust does not come easily. Just then, a girl from the outsider group, who had been silent until now, spoke up. I lost my family during the great catastrophe. I was raised to believe that humans were our enemies. It is hard for me to let go of that fear. Alex's heart went out to her. I can't change the past, but I can promise that I will fight for this planet and for our friendship, he said, his voice filled with sincerity. We can work together to protect it. The outsider girl looked into his eyes, searching for truth. If you truly want peace, then you must prove it. You must show us that humans can be trusted. Lyra turned to Alex, her expression serious. This is our chance, Alex. We can prove to them that we are different, but it means taking risks. I'm ready, Alex replied, determination filling him. I will do whatever it takes. The outsider leader smiled slightly, impressed by Alex's courage. Then let us work together. We will show you the ways of our people, and you will show us the strength of humanity. But remember, secrets can be heavy. Be ready to face what is hidden. As the group prepared to embark on a new journey, Alex felt a mixture of excitement and fear. He had taken the first steps toward understanding the past, but now they would have to confront their secrets. He was ready to face whatever lay ahead, knowing that he was not alone. Together with Lyra and the others, he would fight for peace and build a future where all beings could thrive. The big fight. The sun hung high in the sky as Alex and the girls from the village prepared for their next challenge. After hearing the secrets of the past, they had agreed to take action. They wanted to show the outsiders that humanity could be trusted. But as they gathered for their meeting, a storm brewed on the horizon, both in the sky and in the hearts of the outsiders. We must show them that we are ready to protect our home, the outsider leader said, his voice strong. But there are those among us who still doubt. Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. We can prove ourselves, he replied. We will show them our strength and our willingness to help. As they talked, dark clouds rolled in, casting shadows over the sacred lake. The wind picked up, and Alex felt a chill run down his spine. Something doesn't feel right, he said, glancing at the girls. Just then, a loud roar echoed through the forest. Alex turned to see a group of angry outsiders charging toward them, their faces twisted in rage. They are coming, one of the girls shouted. They want to fight. Without thinking, Alex stepped forward. We don't want to hurt anyone. He called out, his voice steady. But the angry outsiders didn't listen. They raised their weapons, ready for battle. The girls formed a protective circle around Alex, their faces determined. We will stand with you. Lyra shouted, her eyes fierce. Alex felt a surge of gratitude for their bravery. Together, they could face this challenge. As the first outsider charged, Alex ducked and dodged, feeling adrenaline pump through his veins. He could hear the clash of weapons and the cries of anger. It was chaos. He saw Lyra and Zura fighting back, their movements fluid and graceful, defending themselves with all their strength. Don't fight to harm, Alex shouted, trying to keep everyone focused. Fight to protect. He was desperate to avoid violence, but the anger in the air was thick, making it hard to remember the hope they had built. In the midst of the fight, Alex spotted the girl who had lost her family during the Great Catastrophe. She was struggling against another outsider, fear and anger in her eyes. Help me, she cried, but Alex felt torn. He wanted to protect her, but he also needed to show the outsiders that they could find a better way. Stop, Alex shouted at the girl, raising his hands. We can end this without violence. We don't need to fight. To his surprise, the outsider hesitated. The anger in her eyes wavered, confusion taking its place. You don't understand, she yelled back, her voice filled with pain. You don't know what we've lost. I do know, Alex replied, his voice steady. We all have losses, but fighting will only bring more pain. We can't change the past, but we can choose how to move forward. The outsider leader, watching the struggle unfold, stepped in. What are you doing? He shouted, his voice full of disbelief. You cannot show weakness. We must fight to prove ourselves. No, Alex cried, standing tall. We must show strength through peace. We can build a future together. In that moment, something shifted in the air. The fighting slowed as the outsiders began to look at each other, uncertainty replacing anger. The girl Alex had been trying to save paused, lowering her weapon. Lyra and the other girls joined him, standing firm beside him. We can be stronger together, Lyra said, her voice echoing in the tense silence. Let us find a way to heal and protect this world. Slowly, the outsiders began to lower their weapons, unsure of what to do next. The atmosphere was still charged, but the fighting had stopped. Alex felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps they could find a way to work together after all. But the fight was far from over. Trust needed to be built, and challenges still lay ahead. As the storm clouds began to part, Alex knew they had taken a step toward peace, but the journey was only just beginning. Together, they would face the storms that threatened their new world, finding harmony. As the dust settled from the fight, Alex stood at the center of the clearing, his heart pounding. The tension in the air was thick, but he could see the glimmers of hope in the eyes of both the alien girls and the outsiders. He had never felt such a mix of fear and determination before. They were at a crossroads, and he knew they had to make a choice. "Let's talk," Alex said, his voice calm but firm. "We have all lost so much. Fighting will only bring more pain. But if we work together, we can build something new." The outsider leader, still shaken from the confrontation, stepped forward. "What do you propose?" he asked, his voice softer now. "How can we trust you?" "Trust takes time," Alex replied, taking a deep breath. "But we can start by learning about each other. Let's share our stories, our fears, and our hopes. We can create a safe space where everyone feels heard." One of the outsiders, the girl who had called for help during the fight, stepped forward. "I lost my family to the chaos caused by humans. It's hard for me to forgive." Her voice trembled, and Alex could see the pain in her eyes. "I understand," he said gently. "I lost friends and family too. I know how hard it is to move on. But if we hold on to that anger, it will only hurt us all." The alien girls nodded, their expressions filled with empathy. "We can share our stories of loss and healing," Lyra suggested. "Together, we can find common ground." As the group settled down, Alex began to tell his story. He spoke of his life on Earth before the cryosleep, the love, the laughter, and the losses. The outsiders listened closely, some nodding in understanding. He shared how humanity had changed, how they wanted to protect the Earth and its beauty. Then it was the outsider leader's turn. He shared his own tale, the pain of watching his ancestors leave Earth, the fear of returning, and the longing to find a place where they could belong. "We have been afraid for so long," he admitted, "afraid of what humans could do, but also afraid of losing our new home." As more stories were shared, walls began to crumble. They talked about their fears, their dreams, and the future they wanted to build. The girl who had lost her family opened up about her hurt, and Alex listened with compassion. "I want to feel safe again," she said, tears in her eyes. "We can work together to create that safety," Alex replied. "Let's build a community where everyone feels welcome and protected." Slowly, the outsiders began to share their experiences, their hopes, and their dreams. They realized they had much in common despite their differences. They all wanted a world filled with love, safety, and harmony. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, something magical happened. The group felt a sense of unity. They were no longer enemies. They were allies, working together for a common purpose. The outsider leader looked around, his expression transformed. "Perhaps we were wrong to judge so quickly," he said. "Maybe there is a way for us to coexist." The girls cheered, their voices filled with joy. Alex felt a warmth spreading in his chest. They had taken a huge step toward peace, and he could feel the energy of hope surrounding them. Together, they began to discuss plans for the future, a future where humans and aliens could learn from each other, share their knowledge, and protect their world side by side. It was the start of something beautiful. As night fell, they lit a small fire by the lake, gathering around it to share more stories and laughter. Alex looked at the faces around him, feeling a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. They were not just fighting for peace, they were building a family. And in that moment, he knew they would find harmony together. A bright future. The dawn broke over the sacred lake, bathing the world in warm golden light. Alex awoke with a sense of hope filling his heart. The night before had been a turning point, and he could still feel the energy of unity in the air. As he stepped outside his tent, he saw the alien girls and the outsiders gathered by the water, sharing laughter and stories. It was a beautiful sight. "Good morning, Alex," Lyra called out, her eyes sparkling with joy. "We are planning a celebration today. It's time to mark the start of our new friendship." Alex's heart soared. "That sounds amazing. How can I help?" "We need to prepare food and decorations," Zora chimed in. "And we want to share stories of our cultures. It will be a day to remember." The excitement in the air was contagious. Alex jumped in to help, gathering fruits from the trees and herbs from the surrounding plants. The outsiders joined in, sharing their own foods and traditions. They laughed and worked together, the barriers that had once divided them slowly fading away. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the celebration began. The clearing around the lake was decorated with colorful flowers and ribbons. The sound of music filled the air, a mix of human and alien melodies blending beautifully together. Alex watched in awe as the girls danced, their movements graceful and free. The outsiders joined in, their laughter echoing through the trees. It was a moment of pure joy, and Alex felt his heart swell with happiness. They were creating memories together, ones that would last a lifetime. During the celebration, they took turns sharing stories. Alex spoke of Earth's wonders, its forests, oceans, and mountains. He described the beauty of human creativity in art and music. The outsiders listened intently, captivated by his words. In return, the outsiders shared tales of their own world, the colorful skies, the unique animals, and their deep connection to nature. They talked about their traditions and how they celebrated life. Alex was amazed at how much they had in common, despite their different backgrounds. As the day turned to evening, the sky turned a brilliant shade of purple and orange. The group gathered around a large bonfire, the flames crackling and dancing in the night. The atmosphere was filled with warmth and friendship. Lyra stood up, her voice ringing clear. "Today we celebrate our new bond. We are no longer just humans and outsiders. We are a community. Together, we can protect our world and ensure a bright future for everyone." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and Alex felt a rush of emotion. He knew they were creating something special, something that could change the course of their histories forever. Then the outsider leader rose to speak. "We were once afraid, but today we see that friendship can bring strength. We trust you now, and together we will face whatever challenges come our way." Alex's heart swelled with pride. This was the moment they had all been waiting for, a moment of hope, acceptance, and a commitment to a shared future. As the night wore on, they continued to dance, sing, and share stories, their laughter echoing through the forest. The stars twinkled overhead, a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the connection they had forged. In that magical moment, Alex realized that they were not just building a bridge between their two worlds. They were creating a family. Together, they would explore new possibilities, face challenges, and protect their home. As the fire flickered and the music played, Alex felt a deep sense of belonging. The future was bright, filled with hope and promise. They had turned fear into friendship, and he knew that together they could accomplish anything. The dawn of a new era had begun, and Alex was ready to embrace it with open arms.